governor of Georgia, saying he expects we'll hear from her in the future. Abrams, however, did not concede the election.
In the coming days, we will be filing a major federal lawsuit against the state of Georgia for the gross mismanagement of this election and to protect future elections from unconstitutional actions.
Abrams claimed the unofficial governor-elect Brian Kemp suppressed the vote and should not have overseen his own election as Georgia's Secretary of State. Kemp now urging Georgians to focus on the future, saying a short time ago,
the election's over with. It's been a long, tough process. I certainly appreciate Stacey Abrams' tenacity, how hard she worked, the campaign that she ran.
A hand recount underway in Florida's U.S. Senate race. The machine recount didn't result in any real change in the race, but it was marred by problems. Voting machines actually smoking and shutting down in one county. Another county missing a deadline by just 2 minutes. Its votes tossed out. This is Fox News.
I see you come home right now.
FoxNation.com and pre-order right now. Fox Nation is the new streaming subscription service that delivers exclusive daily shows, and exclusive on-demand programming. That's the perfect complement for every Fox fan. FoxNation.com. Pre-order now and get one-of-a-kind exclusive merchandise available now.
Right now is the one
Miss your chance to become a Falcon member.
Lord, what is that?
dissident cleric from Turkey to appease that country's president. Recep Erdogan said to be outraged by the murder of Khashoggi on his country's soil. Fethullah Gulen, a dissident cleric who's been living in Pennsylvania the past 20 years. Any truth to that?
No, it's not under consideration. We are looking, always looking. And whatever we can do for Turkey.
Erdogan accuses Gulen of orchestrating a coup attempt in his country 2 years ago. He denies that, says he hasn't committed any crimes in this country or in Turkey. Vice President Pence attending the Asia-Pacific Rim, or APEC summit, criticizing China.
Know that the United States offers a better option. We don't drown our partners in sea of debt. We don't coerce, compromise your independence. The United States deals openly and fairly. We do not offer a constricting belt or a one-way road. When you partner with us, we partner with you, and we all prosper.
I'm Jay Metzler, and this is Fox News.
Are you thinking of buying or selling your home? Upsizing, investing. Are you relocating? Do you want to know your local market conditions? Are you behind on payments? Are you looking for improvement tips? Well, what if your head didn't sell? This is Real Estate with Ryan, your hometown expert and trusted source for the most up-to-date information. And now your host, Ryan Coleman with Hometown Realty.
Good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well on a Saturday. Thank you for listening to Real Estate with Ryan. I'm your host, as always, Ryan Coleman. So if you're turning in the first time, thank you for joining us on this cold Saturday morning in the studio. So hope you had a good week. The holidays are coming upon us. My co-host couldn't be here with me, but maybe she's out there in social media land watching us. So thank her for all that she does and joining with us. So solo in the studios. Guys, you got any questions real estate related? We're coming to the holidays quicker than we can think. Christmas will be upon us shortly. And so any real estate questions, you're trying to get in moving this year, or if you're thinking about putting your home on the market first part of this year, you've got some questions, we'd love to talk to you about it. Studio lines are open. It's 865-888-TALK. That's 865-888-8255. Now I'm in the studio alone, so if you're bored, you're riding around, talk to me. Anything's on your mind, I'd love to talk to you, say hi. This is going to be a fun show. We're going right into Thanksgiving and the holidays. You know, the Vols got their last home game today, so it'll be a good show. We're going to go a little bit off topic, things that you can find helpful going into your Thanksgiving break. I know the kids are going to break as well. Some of our students are going there. So hope you can find this helpful, and let me know what you think on the show. So I do have a little housekeeping issues, news that we want to talk about before we kind of get into the show. So we've been very busy. April helps me with this, so we'll see how I do. I want to congratulate Park Grove Lane. They're under contract and closing this week, so a very special family there. Glad to help them. Francis Road just had a price adjustment. Make sure you watch out for that property at $194,900. Butternut Circle in Farragut just adjusted $419,950, so keep that in mind. Congratulations to the clients on Covered Bridge. They just went under contract as well. New adjustment on Kingston Pike in Sequoia Hills. Beautiful historic home. Just reduced to $649,950. Congratulations. We'll see. We're not pre-congratulations, but we have a third or fourth showing on Westland Lakes Way. It's our luxury estate out in West Knoxville. Paylors are great clients, and had a third showing today. So we're crossing our fingers that we may have that sold. We will see. So that is yet to be determined, but we're being positive over here with Real Estate with Ryan. We're thinking about the future, and I think it's just an awesome home, and it's not going to be too long for that goes under contract. Deer Valley, don't forget about that. Large acreage in the Carnes area, West Knoxville, $949,950. It's got a full basement that is a must. Convenient locations. That has been reduced just a little bit ago and is an excellent buy, right under $1 million. And we have a new listing out in Maynardville at Fox Hunter at $250. And so a lot of housekeeping issues. You can see we've been busy. White Oak adjusted at $329,000. New listing at Walnut Cove at $1.2 million. And our clients out in Maryville just made an adjustment at $178,000. Mr. Swain, congratulations with Lowe's Ferry, $1.6 million. Record timing on that estate on Blount County in 46 days. We're patting ourselves on the back on that one. We're pretty psyched for that. It's been on the market for a couple of years with them. And Cascade Lane, Oak Ridge went under contract. New adjustment for our property in Hilton Road, adjustment there. Granada Lane adjustment, Granada Drive. And then Creekwood and Miller's Landing, brand new luxury listing, $515 that's hit the market. We may have some more, but we won't sit here and read those all out. But you can see we've been busy. I try to always tell you guys that the fall and winter season, a lot of people are taking us up on that as the inventory has went down some, and I think it's going to stay stagnant through the holidays. Buyers are coming in, like I just got back from a showing today. Buyers are coming in. They're serious. It was a corporate and executive, and they're coming in for a short period. And if you're not on the market, if you're not advertised, well, there's a good chance you may miss that buyer. Remember, it only takes one. And I know it's hard during the holiday times and Thanksgiving. This is time we spend with family and friends. But if we're looking to motivate and looking to maximize our dollars and have less competition, the fall market is a great opportunity. We'll be winter market before you know it. Always love to talk to you about that. So that's our housekeeping issues today. I think we've got a good show for you. We're going to go a little bit off real estate, but how it relates to kind of our life, business in general, things that you may take on as you come into this holiday break that you may use in your everyday lives, hopefully to inspire you and kind of help you, drive you, push you. If you're being complacent, don't be, because we all get there. It happens, right? And so we're going to talk about that. 10 things to be successful in business and life. You know, we do this show every week. We do 2 shows, one on News Talk and here on Talk Radio, along with our real estate life, along with having a little one, a family, a marriage, running multiple businesses and doing whole lots of properties and things like that. So I got a lot going on. And how do we do that, be successful and still have that balance? I think the biggest thing in business and life is, how do you have a balance? And it's very hard to have a balance in life. I think the first thing that you have to think about is, what is starting to make and motivate you? Let's start with that. What's your why? What's your motivation? You hear a lot of motivational speakers. They talk about what's your why, what's in it, what's important to you, what drives you. I know for a lot of us that have children, families, our why is our little ones. Even if they're getting bigger, even if they're in the 30s, they're always our little ones, right? And they're always going to be our babies. And so that's what pushes us. But I think the biggest thing that sometimes it's easy to get complacent in that process, and that's so important why we're talking about this today and what we can do to be successful. I mean, really, essentially, running your own home is a business in general. If you stay-at-home mom, or if you homeschool like one of our family members, I mean, that is a full-time job in itself. Running that business, keeping your kids in order, keeping the house structured, keeping the little things. I know this sounds crazy, but April's not here. We'll brag on her. Guys, like having clean laundry, having your stuff organized. Trust me, that counts. Trust me, that makes a difference. That when you go out to work, that you're not looking like a bum. You're dressed. If it was up to us guys, we'd be a stumbling, bumbling mess. I know I would. And so that's so important. But those little things get overlooked, and you don't think about those things. And I think in life and in business, you got to be fearless. And so let's go with topic number one. There's so many things, and we're in a short time frame. I had a caller that called in yesterday. Actually, it wasn't a caller. We were talking to them, and it was such a great compliment, and so I have to really thank her. She was saying, I listen to your show all the time, and a lot of those shows on the weekends just have a lot of news and replays and stuff, and I really, really enjoy your show. And I just think it's too short. It needs to be a whole hour. Time I get on there and then you jump off, then it's already over. I said, well, I really appreciate that. And I said, well, I'm astonished that somebody listens. So we're always, as we're going to Thanksgiving, we're grateful that people say things like that. But that's pretty awesome. And so I'm trying to keep on track. I want to cover a lot. And we always seem to come up on breaks quickly. But let's start with number one, being fearless in life, in business, and anything that you do. You got to have that tenacity. We're going to watch the Vols play today. There's a lot of prep in sports. There's a lot of pump up and, hey, you got to be committed. But in life, it's a very, very competitive business. And whether it's for your family or whether it's in business and life, it's so important that you separate yourself from the crowd. And fear is our biggest challenger, right? Getting on this radio, getting on, doing anything outside the box takes courage. To be successful or to even step out every day takes a certain level of courage. The problem is sometimes we get lost on focused on what we're doing, and we forgot our why is what motivates us, or making sure our goals are where we need to be. Sometimes where we're coming on a break up here shortly, but we'll have a whole lot more to talk about. But our goals, if we're off track with our goals, that motivation to do those things outside the comfort level, we won't do them. I know coming and doing this show, we were super, super nervous. I mean, nervous. And I said, well, it's what we got to do. But what made us do it is, in our business is about marketing. It's about putting ourselves out there and obviously marketing our clients' homes. In real estate and in business, and that's what we're talking about, is changing with an evolution so much now that you have to change or you'll get left behind. We're coming up on the hard break. We're talking about 10 things to be successful in business and in life. And you're talking to Real Estate with Ryan. I'm your host. Stay with us and we'll talk more about this. So guys, we're talking about things in business, things in life, what makes you successful. Thought that'd be a good topic. I wanted to switch it up. We're just talking about our things we do and just things in general. I got an article that's pretty good and talks about that. So more importantly, you guys that are teenagers, maybe you're new in your profession, new in your business. If you're thinking about where you want to be in life, just remember time flies. I remember I was in my 20s in just a matter of minutes. Before you know it, you'll be a grandpa. And that's how quick time flies. And understanding that, Our biggest thing is we go to college, we push to college, and we say, well, hey, we're going to go to college, I'm going to get a degree, and that's going to make me successful. You're finding now that a lot of people that go to college and have masters in their degrees, we're not being taught the right information. I think the biggest thing to be successful in the market is really stepping outside of your box, pushing your goals, knowing where you guys are going to, and then understanding that what's pushing you. I know before I was single, before we come on this break, won't go into all this, but before I was married, I was single. You know, I was very complacent. I had enough. I was successful in my business. And those things were great, but I didn't have enough to push me. When my mom was alive and around, I obviously you always do so much more for somebody else, right? You do so much more for somebody else, but for yourself, it's just easy to kind of just sit back and make it easy. One of the things and goals that I got laser focused and why I came here is that it's not fun to just do it by yourself. It's always good to do it with a partner. And obviously, me and my wife do it not only in life together, but our business. And that's where my goals started having to be stretched. That's where my goals had to start being pushed. And that's where, when you know, guys, you know, if you have a little one, that will motivate you real quick. If you're not doing what you need to be doing, if you're not being motivated to do what you do when you have a little one, then there's not much to talk about. So your life changes in midstream, and so listen to this like this talk. That's what kind of Saturday morning it is. But your goals change and your mind changes, and that's what we're talking about this show, things we can do to be successful and hopefully not be complacent. So we'll talk more about the show. Thank you guys for following us and watching our show. This thing's quick, man. Thanks for staying tuned. Thank you guys for staying with us. It's Real Estate with Ryan. Okay, so I was talking to social media land. I like that technology. How exciting is that years ago, everything was on the newspaper. Everything was, you know, there wasn't a YouTube channel, right? There wasn't all these streaming devices. And now there's so much technology that we can really leverage. And if you know how to use social media or technology, really grow your business. So I think that's an important part. Let's see where I was at. Always hard. We've talked about being fearless and understanding the marketplace and really putting a relentless effort into what it takes to be successful. The main thing I would say, guys, in business and in life, you have to be courageous, be fearless, and never give up. Number two, we're going to talk about your finances. In business and anything that you do, you got to know your numbers. Business is all about numbers. You need to watch your money every day. You need to watch your expenses. We're Dave Ramsey, ELP. He was just on a minute ago. And what I like about Dave Ramsey, love Dave Ramsey, no reason that we're not endorsed by him. But the most important thing that Dave does, he says, you know, in order to invest, you have to be consistent. He says, I've never made any money on the stock market or never made any money in mutual funds by just getting out and jumping when the market changes. Just like in real estate, there's ups, there's downs in the markets. You got to be consistent. So in business, you have to be consistent. And most importantly, understand that process. And consistency wins the game, guys. We're doing this show. My daughter's not feeling the best. Wife, allergies, sinuses, so much going on today. Let's talk about it. It's so easy to just do the status quo, to be average. You know, on a cold day like today, it's so easy just to say, hey, Roz, rerun a show. Just rerun one. Just. I'm going to call it quits today. Worked hard. It's been a busy week. And the challenge with that is it gets contagious because we start putting things off that what we're doing. And it's easy to just kind of not do it and procrastinate. But in business and in life, I think you guys know that procrastination will really hurt you. And it's in business and successful. And what we're doing is never one thing that make or breaks a deal. I listened to a good sales guy. He's great. He says, you know, you're never going to say one thing that messes up the sale. It's a combination of multiple different things, right? So in business and in life, right, in your relationship, it's never one thing. But it's a combination of, I didn't put the time in and effort to be here in the studio, so then you couldn't know me. Then you couldn't hear me. And then you have an opportunity when you're going to sell real estate or purchase real estate, you may go with another guy. Because I just kind of took it easy that week, right? Or I didn't do that live stream to reach out to you guys and touch you so you can get to know me, my family, and our business and our corporation and what we're about. Just like in your relationship, I know it happens all the time. We get complacent. You come home, it's been a long day, and you're like, I just want some me time. My wife's like, you don't get no me time. So why not? I want me time. But that's true. And then you take for granted your other spouse of how much they do, how much they give. We're coming to Thanksgiving. It shouldn't take one part of the year to be thankful what you have and what you're coming through and what you got. And so I think that's so important, is don't overlook those things, because the little things of not saying, hey, thank you, make a difference. Really appreciate what you're doing. My wife said something today, and I'm going to brag on her because she's not here. She may blush, but she was like, really appreciate you working so hard, so hard. And I was like, well, what do you want? Are you going shopping, or what did I do? She was like, no, I was just giving you a compliment. Or do I need to buy something? What's going on? No, and I'm just teasing. That's not how she is. But it was funny. But it was one of those things, though, you don't think about it, but making that impression, making that seed, dropping that seed, is big for your relationship personally. I know, I was talking to my friend. He's like, I don't know how you and your wife work together. Like me and my spouse could never do that. And I said, well, I know not a lot of people can, not a lot of people do, but we've been blessed to have that opportunity. And I think why I want to do this show and just talk about it briefly and kind of run through it is there's so many opportunities that we don't see outside of our box. We've stretched ourselves not only with people that we surround, people that we mentor, people that we talk and invest to. So we're always trying to grow where we're going. And we recently made a purchase this year that 2 years ago we never thought would be possible to do. And it's just the mindset of where you're going and just changing that mindset. And sometimes that doesn't happen unless you're around the right people. If you're around people that are negative and people that are not encouraging you and lifting you up and bringing positivity to you and energy and love and support what you're doing, you've got to really take a step back. If your weekends, and no offense, if your weekends are about getting drunk and how much the bar tab is and hangovers, there are days for hangovers, but those days to be successful and where you need to be, I can't remember the last time I had a hangover. I just can't, because that's not my priority. My weekends, which we've all had them, of being in the bar or out doing things like that, that's not exciting. That's not pushing me to where I need to be, and obviously to where our goals. But you got to be laser focused. You got to be understanding that if you're not focused on your goals and have people around you that are pushing you, supporting you, encouraging you, it makes it tough. It makes it tough. Use leverage. I think that's always important with leverage in business. Everything's about leverage. You can only do so much as a business owner. We scaled our business so big and so large that eventually there just wasn't anything left of us. We were up 600% from last year. And you say, well, how did you do that? I had an agent call me and go, well, what in the world are you doing? I mean, it's just hard work every day doing it, showing up every day, being consistent and understanding what we need to do. But at some point, you've got to be surrounded by great people. It takes from the little things, from the guys in the studio, from taking the time to prepare the tracks, to taking the time for the guys that cut the video, from just the effort of our photographer of taking the extra care to move something out of the way that the customer couldn't do to make their house shine, to taking the extra hour or two to making sure those pictures are edited and they're just not thrown up there, right? I mean, I know you've seen those pictures where you look at one house that's listed one way, then somebody comes through and the pictures don't even look like the same house. That's just having a commitment, but you can't do that without the right team, so you're able to grow that. We followed a guy that I'm sure that you've talked about and try to cram a lot of this here in a short segment. E-Myth, I know you heard of Michael Gerber. He's big in the business world. And big guy that he talks about is leveraging your systems, being successful in business. I think this is one of the eye-openers that we learned years and years ago. And the E-Myth of running a small business. I'm a great salesperson, but I may not be the best CEO, or I may be the best painter, but I may not be the best business owner. So the part of running a business, and most people that come from working for somebody or an employer and go open their business, they may be good at their craft, but they understand when you're opening a business, so much goes involved into that process. So understanding that process and being a good delegator and putting the right team. Ray Kroc is one of the owners of McDonald's. I'm sure you guys have heard of McDonald's. And the E-Myth talks about how he opened McDonald's and sold those franchises. And what he did with that is really essentially the system runs the business, not the people. And what he did with that is now one of the most successful franchises in the world, right? And it's run by teenagers. So you tell me, it's not the best product. It's definitely not the best service, but it's the most consistent. And it's known, and you know what you're going to get when you show up there. And guess what? You don't have to be the best product, but sometimes you got to be the most known. And that's why they've grown their franchise and they develop systems. So in your business, make sure, or in home, simple things at home. This sounds silly, but delegate your home life. We're busy. The last thing we can do is get to the grass. We delegate that. Last thing we can get to dry cleaning. Unfortunately, we have to delegate that. Look at your home life and what things, your time is valuable. You're a business owner of your own home. Make sure you understand that. There's certain things that I'd rather pay for that I can have time on the weekend to go spend time with my daughter or to go do something versus maybe, spend 2 hours washing the car. That's good for some people, but for us, we're really, really busy. There's some things that I need to delegate. Look at those things and they'll help you have more time. I think as we're coming into this part, I want to talk about family. I think the importance of family as we're coming into Thanksgiving, it's so important to understand no matter what you do, remember it all starts with your family. And whatever relationship you came from, whether your family was good, bad, or indifferent, you can change where you're going. And as we come to Thanksgiving, understand it's all about that. And having a good support system, having a good family supporting you and pushing you will really get you open to get where your dreams and really inspire you to push that. Watch who you hang around with. That is big. I'd like to spend a special thanks to everybody that's helped us this year. It's been tremendous. Number one, without God, it wouldn't even be possible with all He's done for our life, our family. I mean, it's to God be the glory, 100%. Our family, our support team has really been awesome. Our clients are tremendous. We've got some of the best clients in East Tennessee. We have some that are not. We won't mention you guys. No, I'm just teasing. But, all you guys have been great. You've always pushed me, had an opportunity really, even if it's not been the best situation, to inspire, to learn, and that's been so opportunity. And then we're just so blessed to be able to give back and do certain things that we do, and the opportunity to have these shows and do different things to give back, and that's just pretty awesome. So that's what I want to say on Thanksgiving. We've got a game coming up, last home game, and I do have, believe it or not, we got the big 2-minute mark, so I get to talk just for a minute. I wasn't sure. We sent some people to the game this year, really had fun doing that. And last night I wanted to share the story with you. It was about 11 o'clock. My daughter's not feeling the best, I mentioned. So we're just going to watch the game on TV like everybody else, cold, everything. And 11 o'clock we got in and, hey, my dad wants to go to the game. So that's April's dad, father-in-law. He said, well, he wants to go. Really? I've been wanting to go to the game all week. All year. I said, well, probably not going to happen. Just one of those things when you're busy, right? My dad wants to go. Really? Like a little kid. Okay. Call him. 11 o'clock. Is he still going to go? Ryan's got the tickets on demand. He's ready to push the button. I thought you were kidding. Yeah, I want to go. So we're going to spend some guide time. We're going to do a little palling. We're going to go to the game today. First game of the year. We're going to support the Vols. Last home game here at Neyland Stadium. I think we got 2 wins. We got an opportunity to advance and go to the bowl game. Every weekend here live in the studio on Talk Radio, we're blessed for the opportunity at 92.3 FM, AM 760, Real Estate with Ryan. We're thankful. We hope you have a great Thanksgiving coming up. Spend time with your family. Never take it for granted. Enjoy that weekend. We'll be back the following weekend. If you need me, 693-7653 or ryancoleman.org. We're going to go out with Rocky Top, and you guys have a wonderful weekend. Thank you guys for staying tuned. There's the show. There's my ramble. Hope you liked it. We're just talking about inspiration, students, what you need to do to be successful. I know there's a lot of guys out here that everybody's a coach. Everybody's got somebody that's a coach or a mentor. I'm not a coach. I'm not by far by that. I don't feel like we've reached our potential where we need to be. But I would like to give you some insight that fuels us, what makes us successful. I don't know what the key word successful is. It's definitely not defined by money. It's defined about what your goals and what meets your life. Is it more family time? Is it goals? Is it spiritual goals? There's a lot of things that define successful. It all depends with you. And, we're just honored to be here, to share our story, to be involved with what we do, really having great clients, and come here and chat with you guys. So if I don't see you guys, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Enjoy time with your family, and we'll see you next week.